been a corrupt in a build every morning. Now because your money done, you come with conniving morning. Then you had your pocket full in a build every morning. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me morning.
Yes, morning, neighbor.
Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, I don't want you conniving morning. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and a guild piece. A 2 pound note and a guild piece. A 2 pound note and a guild piece. This all the money that me walk for.
I said morning, neighbor.
Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, I don't want you conniving morning.
Oh, Joseph.
Well, I invoke the WPA's position that we are engaging in civil disobedience and non-cooperation with the government. And on that grounds, I refuse to participate in the interview. The question in struggle, is not personal. Whatever sacrifice as a political activist or a political leader you have to make for your people, you have to make it.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Comes TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruptions over land and sea, where the wicked politicians they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. Is one set of people getting aisle money. Is one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see. Sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, which has ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. They got Breakford, Bork and Mark Benchcop. David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam. Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London. Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up Paslow Port People Governor. Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson. Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese morning time, the people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Wyndham Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show. In fact, we are a separate society, physically separate. And as a result of physical separation, as I said, it makes it easy for separation based on policy. So, to get back to your question, in a place like South Africa,
Morning, neighbor, morning. Welcome to the program. How are you doing? It's 25 minutes past the 8 o'clock. It's 25 minutes past the 7 o'clock hour. Y'all welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. Y'all take time to welcome a masquerader named Desmond Lorimer. I don't know what it is. I will only assume it's a person. But it's too early to have to deal with such jackassery. I don't know why y'all has come here. Why y'all don't come critic? Y'all has come here to aggravate people's spirit. Early morning crash. Masquerading with black people name. Before you spend time early morning for go catch your gunga, you're there on people program making yourself an ass. You're so asinine. Morning, you know what you do? Welcome to the program. How was your yesterday? How was your last night? You rested well last night? You were able to sleep as against some politicians who studying when the feds coming for them and their friends and cronies in the corrupt on the world. You rested well? Made some money yesterday? Y'all talk to me. When you see a road mate so dangerous, y'all be careful. Talk to me. How y'all do? Somebody's asking that I blocked Desmond Lorimer. Why y'all want me to block the thing? Yay! Why y'all want me to block that thing? Let us see what the thing has to offer, man. The thing has metamorphosed. You know that word, Desmond? What it is to metamorphose. I bet you one of them is a Rick Rick or a Miranda Brown or is a... it's been last year I see Rishi Prasad. The low life university lecturer who blogging for the PPP now. Hey! Well, I know. It's Thursday morning, y'all don't worry yourself. We have Trevor Ben on this morning. We are going to be talking with Trevor about the Guyana Public Service Co-op Credit Union, what's happening over there, and so on and so forth. So we'll talk about that. But let's talk about us a little bit. 6:30 this evening, we're going to be at Tipperary Hall, Buxton. And we're going to be having the annual UC Kwaan Emancipation Symposium. Good? So come down to that symposium. And let's talk about it. Talk about centering racial equality in an oil-rich Guyana. Centering racial equality in an oil-rich Guyana. You know, when we decide to talk about racial equality and discrimination by the PPP and stuff like that, the only response they got is that you're racist. You're racist. I see that send the thing named Lorimer to attack David Hines and call him a racist and say that he can't separate politics from culture because he is a racist. Well, quite frankly, I want to see the idiot Desmond Lorimer separate politics from culture. I believe it is that attempt to separate politics from culture that makes a lot of our so-called Afrocentric public figures appear as stupid as they are. Culture shapes you. And since culture shapes you, culture is likely to shape your politics. Why do you think the PPP is so racist? Why do you think the PPP is so dogmatic in its quest to oppress African Guyanese? Because of their culture. They come from a culture, religious and otherwise, that according to Ravi Dev tells them that they're superior to other people. And so in their inferiority complex, and they pretend to be superior to others, they can't see past race. I said it some time ago and I'm saying it again. Any sensible group of people with access to the resources that the PPP has right now will not only be able to make Guyana a wonderful place to live in, will not only be able to make every Guyanese comfortable with being a Guyanese and living in Guyana, but would also be able to keep the opposition out of power for quite a while. Any sensible group of people, any unbiased group of people, any group of people who are not racist and believe that they are superior to others would be able to do that with access to the kind of resources that the PPP has. But the PPP based on their socialization cannot see past race, cannot see past domination. And so that would dominate them black man. That would dominate them black man. And in the quest of domination, they do all kinds of things which threaten their own political existence. I'm very positive about that. Threatens their own political existence. And so while many of you might think that the PPP is doing itself a good with its attitude, it is shooting itself in the leg. But who am I? I'm no advisor to the PPP. I'm not even an advisor to the opposition. I'm just a humble African, a humble Buxtonian who come here every morning and try to share some of what I consider wisdom. Can you imagine a government with access to the kind of resources that the PPP has, distributing it equitably and fairly to the citizens? Can you understand the goodwill they will be buying? Can you understand that? Just stop and think about it. Imagine if every citizen, if there were to be a commitment to start with, that every household will receive $5,000 yearly. Any group of sensible people who are to make that commitment and honor it when the opportunity comes will endear themselves to the citizenry of this country. Imagine using those resources to pay public servants livable wages. To improve on the delivery of health care and other social services. Imagine using those resources for that. Guyanese citizens who have been seeing hell since independence to now would certainly recognize the efforts of any sensible group of people who work to make that a reality. And so it is likely that they will get the support of the people for a long time. But no. The PPP believes that it can only stay in power if it dominates the citizens, if it dominates African Guyanese, if it dominates the Amerindians. And they got things such as Lorimer coming here in the morning to tell us that we are the racist ones. Racism is perpetrated by people who have resources, who control and command resources, and who believe that they are superior to other people. So when you're looking for the racists, don't look by WPA and AP and UNSO. Look across by the PPP and you're going to see where the racists really are. Okay? Tell your handlers I say that. And tell Mark Phillips, you can't separate your culture from your politics. Because your culture shapes your politics. And so since the majority of the PPP come from a culture that wants to dominate black people, that is what we'll get out of them, domination. And Mark Phillips, since you're not grounded in your culture, you could talk that you're Afrocentric until the cows come home. We're not going to see any different coming from you. Action speaks louder than words. Don't jump up Emancipation Morning and try to get onto a public platform that other cultural activists have been working through the years to maintain. As them by said, all flashy tail. Put in your work. Embrace your culture. Embrace it all year round. And then we might consider you aware and Afrocentric enough. Morning again. Morning. We got Trevor Ben with us this morning, like I said. It's been a while since we spoke with Trevor, but the two of us meet up at Kingley. They said 2 mountain don't reach, it's 2 man. And so we met at Kingley and we had a gaff and he agreed that he will come on this morning and talk with us. Trevor Ben, morning, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Kadaki, and good morning to your listeners.
How you doing?
Good, good. God has been good.
Good, I'm happy when you are good, because when you're good, we get to see some good things coming out of the Guyana Public Service Co-op Credit Union. And when we see good things coming out of there, then our people are getting better. And so,
that's Kadaki.
We witnessed recently that the courts have ruled in the favor of your team, which had challenged the coup, let me call it that, the Guyana Public Service Credit Union. You can give us a brief background to what was happening and the eventual ruling of the court and where we are currently. Please and thanks.
Yes, thank you, Kadaki. Viewers may recall that in 2021, I fielded a team to run for the position of committee member of the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. I fielded a team of people who I thought were leaders across the public service. This team of people I either individually invited to join my team or they approached me to become members of my team. 13 of us ran, and all 13 of us won our seats, and we became the committee of management for the period 2021 to 2022. As you probably know, the rules of the credit union, as well as the Constitution of Guyana, stipulates that the term should be a 1-year term, shall be a 1-year term. And, well, not shall, should be a 1-year term. And that in that period, we should audit our accounts and so on, which is a prerequisite for going to annual general meeting. In 2022, the staff and I began to make preparations for the 2022 annual general meeting, at which there was expected to be elections again. According to the rules, every year, 4 members of the committee should vacate office and contest for their position, or allow other 4 persons to be elected to that position. Now, there were some members of the committee that did not support going to elections, and they requested that we suspend elections for 3 years. In fact, at one meeting which I was away, I was traveling, I learned on my return that the committee voted for the suspension of the AGM for 3-year period. And I told the committee then that that's not a decision that I can honor. It is illegal, and in fact, it's against our rules. And so I instructed the staff to continue working towards holding the annual general meeting, because I believe we are a people organization and we need to report to them on an annual basis in keeping with the rules, and we must face them anyway to give them an update on how good stewards or not good stewards we have been. That resulted, Kadaki, in a series of challenges for me, to the extent that in May of 2022, I was invited to a meeting via WhatsApp message. I was out of town when that message came. I didn't see it until the following day. And at that meeting, I learned about 2 weeks after I learned, because I continued to operate as chair of that organization, but I learned 2 weeks after from a letter coming from the CCDO saying that she accepted the decision of the committee to remove me as chair. Remember, the said CCDO had written asking 1 month after I was elected, that asking the committee to remove me on some spurious grounds. That matter went to the High Court, and the court ruled that the CCDO erred in her decision to request the committee to remove me. She did not have the authority in the manner which she pursued, and the court ruled in favor of the credit union, who took the matter to court. This matter, however, has been appealed by the CCDO, and the committee, which took over after I was removed, refused to challenge it. We can talk about that some other time, but it has very serious implications for all co-op societies. The decision of the Chief Justice, I believe, was in favor of all co-op society, not just the Public Service Credit Union, but our credit union decided that they were not going to challenge the application of the CCDO to appeal the decision. So I was removed, and the members approached me. A number of individuals began to message me and to call me on the phone, send me emails saying that, look, Mr. Ben, when we elected the team, it was our understanding that you were the leader of the team, and these people were being elected on your slate. And so this is why we voted for the team in block. And so we are not accepting that you have been removed by the board without consulting us. So a few of them approached members of the Committee of Management, and the Committee of Management refused to give them an audience. In fact, some of them turned up at a meeting of the Committee of Management, and they were not allowed into the meeting, and it really infuriated those members, and so they decided that we need to challenge this matter in court. So, Kadaki, this is not about Trevor Ben anymore. It is about the members seeking to reaffirm their interest in how the credit union is managed. So the team that went to court got the court to order in September of last year that the Committee of Management proceed with the petition that they had made, asking for a recall of the entire committee, asking for new elections, and asking for certain members of the committee not to be re-elected. This petition was submitted to the committee, and again, in fact, it was submitted before the members went to court. The members submitted the petition. Patrick Mentor, who was acting as chair at the time, accepted the petition and began to move on it, the demands of the members. And he was eventually removed as chair, and the new chair reversed all of the decisions. So this is how the matter went to court. And the court ruled that Patrick Mentor was in order to accept the wishes of the members in keeping with the rules of the credit union and the Constitution of Guyana. And the judge ordered that the meeting be held by a certain date following the demands of the members. The demands of the members were that there be virtual as well as in-person meeting and voting, and that meeting and voting be held in all administrative regions. They also petitioned the court for the IT company that was used for the AGM that elected the committee to be used for the said meeting, the SGM as well. And so on the 24th of October, the committee set about holding what they termed then as SGM. But before that, they petitioned the court asking for a waiver of the court's order to facilitate the use of a local IT company instead of the Trinidad company. The court set a date for the hearing, which was beyond the date for the meeting, and so they withdrew the petition, but they went ahead anyway and used the local company without the permission of the court. And they also did not comply with the court's order to hold meetings in every region. And the team and I that was running for office decided that we were not going to participate in the meeting because we felt it was a sham. It did not meet the minimum requirements set out in the court order. And more than anything else, we did not know of the local company. We've never heard of it before, and we couldn't take any chances going into an election with an IT company that had no track record. The Trinidad company that we use have been engaged in annual general meeting and special general meetings for credit union across the CARICOM region. Hundreds of meetings they have held for these credit unions, and so they have a long history of working, especially during the COVID period. And so we insisted that that must be used. Having not had that put in place by the committee, we decided not to participate, and we encourage our members not to participate as well. And so there was very low turnout at the meeting, and the committee called off the meeting, and they said that was the end of it. The matter, they called the meeting and people didn't show up. So the persons that took the matter to court went back to court. This had nothing to do with Trevor Ben or Patrick Mentor. It is some members who decided that they wanted this matter ventilated in the court, and we supported them, but we did not initiate the court action. Anyway, the court again 2 weeks ago ruled that the committee, well, the court, there's not a final ruling, but the court seemed not to be happy that the order was not carried out. And worse, none of the members of the committee outside of Patrick Mentor attended the court hearing. I myself was not able to attend because I was attending the graduation of my daughter at that said time. But the court was unhappy that none of the key people, the chairman, the secretary, or any of the key people who were parties to the case showed up. And so the court ordered them removed from their positions and from doing business with on behalf of the credit union until a final decision is taken. The next court hearing is on the 13th. In the meanwhile, the court appointed myself, Patrick Mentor, and Rajdai Jagannath to oversee the credit union in the interim and to do all things in keeping with the court order. And so that's what we have set out to do. And on the 10th of September, there will be the special general meeting following the dictates of the court. Meetings in person and virtual will be held in all 10 administrative regions. And the IT company out of Trinidad will be engaged or have been engaged to oversee the IT portion, the virtual portion of the meeting. So in a nutshell, Kadaki, that's a background of what happened, where we are, and the plans for this immediate period. Yes, I am. Yes. 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 Actually, that's one of the first things we did. An audit is ongoing, and we should receive the results of that audit before the end of this week to ascertain what are the issues, if any, with respect to the way the finances have been managed and administrative decisions of the credit union during that period. Kadaki, we receive on an almost daily basis complaints from the members about issues they have in acquiring a loan or even getting to the office or getting to speak to somebody in the office in relation to acquiring a loan over this last year. And it came to a point where I feel so disempowered. I couldn't help most of them. I don't know how to help them. But suffice it to say, a lot of them keep complaining. I don't have all the facts about why it is. I know, for example, people have been telling me that they waited as much as 6 to 8 months for an interview for a vehicle loan. There may be a good reason for this, and these are the things we're trying to find out during from the audit. Our posture, however, during my time as chair, was that service to our members a priority. Service to our members is our number one priority. And so no member should feel when they come to the office that they did not receive the kind of attention they desire as a member of the credit union. So even if we couldn't give them what they wanted, we must engage them to allow them to understand how we can help them in the future and what are going to be the requirements going forward. But too often, people are complaining that they can't even get to speak to somebody. You know, so that's an issue that we are looking into. And but of course, you know, this is an interim period, and decision making is not going to be easy at this point in time. It's just an understanding of what's going on, and hopefully after the election, we will be able to have sufficient information to correct some of these issues that are affecting our members.
Thank you. I mean, you're still waiting on the audit, but as I would say from a cursory glance, what would you say the state of the credit union is currently? Can you tell if the membership, for example, has decreased, or if it has increased, along with the other observations?
No, I don't think it has decreased. A lot of members have not been as enthusiastic as they were a year ago, but we have been encouraging our members not to leave the credit union. The issues now will be resolved, and they will get the kind of service that they desire. So we have been encouraging our members not to leave, and in fact, we've been encouraging people to join. For certain segment of our society, that is perhaps the only hope of getting finances for their daily activities. Whether it's sickness, whether it's fees for school, or just having some liquid in their pocket, the credit union is their only hope. And so I think it would be disingenuous for us to discourage people from joining. So we have been encouraging people to join, and a number of people have joined. Suffice it to say, I know within the last 2 weeks, a number of people have gone in even more to collect applications to join. So the membership is more or less stable. Of course, you have people resigning, and people resigning either because of leaving the country permanently or because they have reached the age of retirement and they feel like they don't want to continue. But beyond that, the membership remains stable.
Let me ask you, Trevor. You mentioned the audit. Is the audit being done by the internal auditor, or is it being done by an external auditor?
It's being done by an external auditor, someone who has done audits for the credit union before, who has good understanding and experience in working with the credit union in the audit field, has been asked to undertake the audit.
Okay, so you wouldn't say there is any conflict of interest in terms of the auditing of the records of the credit union prior or current?
No. This auditor that is audited was previously engaged through the Ministry of Labor with responsibility for cooperative. So the person is known, the person has worked, and we have never had any issues with the person before, and I've never heard anybody saying that there was an issue with that company that we use. So I don't expect that. No.
Well, I know when these issues came up, you were, or your team was working on some plans to institute what I would say, to offer new services, new products to the membership of the union. How do you foresee that going forward now that the court has made this temporary ruling? And can you remind us what are some of those services that people can expect with your team back in place?
Yes, Kadaki. One of the major things that we were about to do when I was removed was we were about to put in place, or we had proposed to put in place credit card for our ATM cards for our members. I believe we are the only country in the Caribbean with credit union that have members without ATM cards. However, the committee felt after my time that they were not ready for that, and they shelved that decision. So that's one of the things that once the election is over and the team is back, that I believe would be a priority of that team, to make sure that members have the opportunity to be able to use an ATM card for their personal business, and reduce the amount of time they have to spend going into the office for transactions which, you know, are very small. We have members in all 10 administrative regions. One of the things I started when I was there, and which I'm happy that the committee continued, is the establishment of representatives in the various regions. We have representatives in all of the regions to aid the members. Previously, before my time, the members used to be required to come to Georgetown for any transaction that they need. We have set up representatives in every region, and I had also started setting up offices in all in the regions, starting with Region 2. There was an office there. I was about to set up an office in Region 6 and one in Region 10. We had identified a building to buy in Region 10, but the committee voted it down. At the time, they said that if they approve it, I will get the credit. That's what one of the members was saying. But in any event, they voted it down. And recently, I understand the office was open in Region 10, but in a rental building. So we lost the opportunity to own our own building in Region 10, and now we're renting to house the office up there. So decisions like this, which I believe are not necessarily in the best interest of our members, you know. It's a financial institution. We want to make long-term decisions that will benefit the members, and we don't want to make knee-jerk decisions for political and other reasons. This institution is close to 60 years old, and the founders had a vision that I believe that we have to uphold and we have to upkeep. We've come this far, and we have to make that we honor that vision and make sure that our members remain the priority as the founders envision. We want to also see that new products such as health insurance for our members, not necessarily health insurance. We are exploring the various kinds of insurance that are applicable. We were at the time as chair, we had commenced conversation with various people in the industry to advise us. And I would like to see that initiated again, so that members' resources can be insured and they can have certain kinds of insurance. Burial insurance, for example, for our members. One of the main things that people come for on a regular basis is funds for burial, you know, and quite often the members who depart, their loved ones don't have access to the money right away. And if you have a debt, you need money to undertake the task if the person have money. So we have to find a way to ensure that our members receive urgent attention for their needs. And if insurance is one such way, we want to explore that. But there are the initiatives that we are also looking at. That, you know, we had procured a portion of land in which we wanted to build a multi-complex, which would house the credit union, but also other services that our members desire, so that when they come to the credit union, they don't have to leave the compound for the services that they desire. Postal services, medical services, pharmaceutical services, etc., etc. That land was purchased, but then the committee voted not to proceed with the construction of that building, and so that's an issue that we would want to pursue again when the time comes, provided the resources is available. We have to look at that to determine whether we can proceed now with it. Obviously, we want to make sure that the time people wait for products is reduced to the bare minimum. A lot of our members don't qualify for similar products at other financial institutions. And so, since we are offering it to them, we want to make sure that it's done on a timely basis and it's done professionally. So we want to find a way to reduce the time spent on that. So there are a number of things that are in the pipeline and we would like to see, but it requires a team, a leadership that is focused on the membership and not on themselves. We want to give priority to our members, and whatever actions we take, we want that to be reflected. And so if given another opportunity to serve as chair of the committee, those would be some of my priorities. And I know the people who are supporting me are equivalent for those sorts of things as well.
Question: you mentioned that basically for this success story to be realized, depends on team and leadership. What guarantees there are, if there can ever be any guarantees that the same mutiny that took place not so long ago will not recur going forward?
Kadaki, I would have loved to be able to say to you that it will never happen again, but I can't. We're dealing with human beings. And people have various kinds of pressures that they respond to. And so if they receive similar kind of pressures that they got this time, and I don't know what they are, I'm speculating that it was pressure, then there's nothing I or anybody can do to stop that from happening, other than strengthening our rules to make sure that the membership have a say in these sorts of things. And which is something that we will have to pursue at our next AGM.
Rules. And so in keeping with those rules, I want to believe a lot of breaches have taken place because of the actions of the plotters who, if I can say, commandeered the leadership of the credit union for the last 2 years or so. How are those rules going to be used to discipline any of these folks, or to get recompense, if I can call it that, for misuse of resources, should that take place at the end of the hour?
Well, yes, there are rules, and that's up to the members to invoke those rules. In fact, the petition that was filed by, it's over 3,000 people signed the petition, but what was sent to the court was a petition of 200 odd people, because it's only required 25 members, according to the rules, to file a petition and to get action done by the leadership. And so the petition that they put together stated that they would like the members who voted to remove me not to be elected again. So it depends on the members if they agree with them on that, and the petitioners will have to pursue that in the SGM. So if they continue to feel strongly about it.
Very well. That special general meeting is set for the 10th of September, I think you said?
Yes, I think the chair published yesterday in all of the dailies the date for the meeting is the 10th of September. And I think there will be additional publications in terms of where the meetings are going to be held and the voting that will be held, etc. How to do the virtual voting. Kadaki, I had a sit down with the Trinidad company, the team, and I sat with them virtually, of course, and they took us through what is expected, and it's quite encouraging what we are seeing in terms of the rollout of this virtual platform here in Guyana, and we are happy to pioneer it. We did it in 2021, but the features have increased tremendously. That the members will have an opportunity to benefit from, and so we're looking forward to that.
What do members need to do to get themselves in order so that they can fully participate at this AGM and in the decision-making process?
So members should know that they have an opportunity to participate from their homes if they so wish, or in person at a place to be named in the respective administrative regions. The last time, the majority of the people chose to participate virtually, and given the issues relating to logistics and transportation, etc., to get to various places, I think that's an option a lot of people may wish to take. The virtual voting, we will be issuing instructions of how that is going to be done. The registration, all registration will be done virtually as well. And again, we will be issuing instructions. I think the plan is to have a launch of the registration process to which the media will be invited, so that they can get a first-hand glimpse of how the elections will be run and the way people are expected to participate.
How about the criteria for being an eligible voter?
So you must be a member of the credit union, and that will be determined through a number of means. The IT company has set out certain requirements that the member must demonstrate before they are accepted as a member. So we will be laying that out so people could know. I know for sure it's going to be their member number, among other things. So I encourage people who do not know their membership number, the credit union number, to begin to access that number from the office. It's available, and they can stop it by the office anytime to get that sort of information.
Thank you. It's now 30 minutes past the 8 o'clock hours. Trevor, some folks are asking if there are any plans, I don't know if it's possible, for just any citizen to become a member of the Public Service Co-op Credit Union anytime in the near future. Can any adjustments be done to allow that, or?
No, the act that governs the cooperatives in Guyana stipulates, I think, the kind of person who can become a member of the Public Service Credit Union. So I don't think we will have the luxury of making that change. That has to be a parliamentary action. And of course, we don't have control over that. It's something that we can propose, but it requires the parliament to take that action.
Thank you. At 50 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour, I'm about to let you go. Is there anything you want to address that I've not given you the opportunity to?
So I just want to encourage our members to be ready to participate in the special general meeting, we want large numbers in attendance, whether virtually or in person. It's important that you let your voice heard about how you view this credit union and what you would like to see of your credit union going forward. And in any event, this is your credit union, and you should have a say in how it is run. So I look forward to as many of the members as possible participating, and I thank them for their continued support. I know almost on a daily basis as I travel around the country and even out of the country, I run into people who, have very good things to say about how we managed the credit union in the past and would like to see it back to that place. But this is the time for you to demonstrate your support, and we expect to see as many people as possible participating in the credit union special general meeting. Together with that, Kadaki, I want to say to members, I don't want to raise anybody's expectation that there is money that is, lots of money sitting somewhere in an account for the credit union that every member that come will be able to get loans. Loans can only be given if their money is saved. So we encourage our members to save with the credit union. I know many of them have their savings someplace else, and they come with just enough to allow them to get a loan. If we are going to be able to continue expanding on our products and increasing on the level of our products, we will have to see a greater number of our members saving with us. And at the moment, we are not satisfied with the level of savings. We have to have a lot more people saving with the credit union. And I hope that this is a message that we can help to resonate among our members, our 15,000 odd members.
All right, I said I was going to let you go, but I had two eureka moments. One, for participation of the members, are you willing to take some questions by phone or some phone calls? I don't know if there will be questions, if there will be comments. That's one. And two, how does the rates offered on savings through the credit union compare to those offered at the bank?
So based on the experience the experienced members have had, a lot of them have told me about their preference for working with the credit union instead of the other banks. Accessibility is one, and two, the rates, interest rates and so on, which is calculated, it's a lot better than other financial institutions. But I'm not the expert where that kind of information is concerned. I prefer for the technical people to discuss that in more detail. But suffice it to say, I believe our members have been saying to me that they feel better working with the credit union than the other bank.
Thank you. So will you take those calls?
Yes, certainly.
Good. So the lines are open. 622-5923 is the number to call. We have Trevor Ben with us, and we're chatting with him about the Guyana Public Service Co-op Credit Union following the ruling of the court that the hijackers must step aside and let the legitimate folks do what they're supposed to do. First caller. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Hello?
Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, Mr. Ben, and good morning to you and all my black brother and sister. This is Flat Garden. I don't have no question for you, but I have some advice for you as a strong black brother, intelligent Afro-Guyanese. Keep your eyes open on Jagdio Su and the government. You beat them, you win them, and they will try again to get you out, because what you're doing for our black brother and sister home there, they don't want that. They don't want you to empower them by easy access to loan, to uplift them standard of living and business. You're going to try to go back to your background for years and bring us, you see, and then we, the stupid people, will say, oh yes, But we will forget that the international media come and catch him and show the world he corrupt, he wicked, and he's the bad one, not Mr. Travis Ben. So be careful. Even to those who you're working with, my brother, be careful or you're drinking water from them. I will advise you, buy your water, walk with it in your car. When you're going to meet the thing, you walk with it for 2-3. Do not drink no water from them because my leader, I mean, not the government, and he get the same problem, and you will get the same problem with them. They will give you bucket for fresh water because what you're doing, Jack Joe don't like, because you're empowering black people. Jack Joe don't want black people to get business. They must never live a life like the Indian people. So be careful. And the building, what they refuse to buy, and now they're renting a bed store that they rented from an Indian businessman. That is all black folks must do. Enrich Indian people all the time, but we must not get nothing of our own. I'm going to say this to you before I go. If our black brother James Bond come to you for do any business day to the bank, refuse him. Because he did not come before, but he come after because you won your case and go back in your seat. And he come after he sit down and eat and drink it with Jack Dew. My black brother and sister owe me, be careful with James Bond. Thank you very much, Mr. Ben. Thank you very much, Mr. Amsterdam, for letting me in your program.
Thank you for your call. The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. Trevor, you want to respond to anything that this caller said?
Not really. I just want to, except to say that I know that, in the last round, there was a lot of corrupt assassination of me and other members of my team. And we expect that will start again. Members should be aware that in these circumstances, people do all they can to discredit guilds, and we have to be on the lookout for that. But we're prepared.
Thank you. And so for the records, let me say, and I'm sure Trevor might have chosen not to address it, but I will address it. The Guyana Public Service Credit Union, while it may have a majority African Guyanese members, is not an ethnic organization. I think it's an equal opportunity organization in that they're public servants who are not of Afro ancestry, but are also of all ethnic groups in this country. And so while I endorse your sentiments, Flash Gordon, I think it is clear that it is important that we make it clear. This GPSCCU, I think, or CUU, is not about ethnicity, but it is about service and representation for the people.
That's an excellent point, Kadaki. We have members of all ethnic groups in the credit union, and each of them receive the same kind of treatment, and so that's an important point to make, and every member is important to us. I think the most important point that we have to make in relation to our members is that they are the poorest of the poor. Most of them, the majority of our members are the very, very poor, who are minimum wage earners and who will not qualify for a serious loan from any other financial institution. The only place some of them would ever qualify is with a credit union. I know of people who bought their first home, not necessarily applying for a mortgage from the credit union, but borrowing money and starting to construct their home. They're borrowing it, there's a ceiling you can borrow up to. You borrow that and you start your foundation. You borrow again and you put up your columns. You borrow again, and so a lot of people build their homes like that. If they had to wait on a full loan from any institution, many people would not have had a home. And I've heard a number of people coming up to me expressing that. And so That's one thing that the credit union offers, an opportunity for you. Start small, but be sure that there is resources there for you. It depends on how you utilize it to do what you want to do.
Thank you. Caller, thank you for holding your life.
Yeah, good morning, Kadaki, and a special good morning to Mr. Trevor Ben. Some of the points that Flash Gordon raised, I will like you to think on it seriously and follow Flash, because imagine Mr. Sams the other day, just for a little lime and a drink, he's no longer with us. Minister Jordan went to the station, he took a bottle of water. You can't hear him on the program, he got health things. So we have got to be careful with our males, African males, who are in positions like where you are. Because if you look at what is going on, and not that you're race hating again, you see where the persons at the top look to beat down on African males who are figureheads within this community. So you have got to be careful. And also, please heed the warning about James Bond. Because remember the other day, James Bond tried to fix Rickford Burke in the, I think it was the BM South fiasco, and tried to pull down Rickford Burke in order that he would have had to come to Guyana, where he might have ended up like Mr. Sams and others like Mr. Sams, like Waddle and the others, the Henry brothers and the others. Don't want to contain the long list. So be wary of James Bond. James Bond may have our melon. He may have our melon, the color in our skin, but James Bond is not one of us. James Bond is an article, a specimen that is used like a magnet to trap people of our melon who is like him, to destroy them for the whims of the install regime. And about to the credit union members, I want you to rally around this team that has been given a second life, a rebirth, and follow. And I know that you will be successful. I was a member. I don't know if I'm still a member, but after this next week, I'm busy. I will check out the credit union and see if I could still be a member of the credit union. But remember, I am not working. I'm a pensioner now, but I will come. And if just to be in the credit union, Mr. Ben, to be another person who will be at your side and for the good that you're trying to do for the people who are at the poverty line and below the poverty line, them being the workers of the government, the public servant workers, where they could be given loans to assist them and move them along so that they could come up to middle class, or we will be made to the middle class. So I
in order, still we striving for better, and we not gonna stop till the battle is won and we get justice. Cause if you lose your stand, anyone will try to push you over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. battle pitfalls and their worries. Pain endure for one night, but joy cometh in the morning. And if you lose your soul, there's nothing to gain, it will be over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Now go bow cause the color of my skin. Now go cheat because me want to win. Now see the crown and still no know the king. Now see blessing and no know blessing. Cause if you lose your stand, there comes someone to push you over. Over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Time getting harder, still we striving for better. And we not gonna stop till the battle is won and we get justice. Cause if you lose your stand, anyone will try to push you over. Over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Don't be discouraged by the pitfalls and their worries. Pain endure for one night, but joy cometh in the morning. And if you lose your soul, there's nothing to gain, it will be over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. cause the color of my skin. Now go cheat because me want to win. Now see the crown and still no know the king. Now see blessing and no blessing. Cause if you lose your stand, there comes someone to push you over. Over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize.
Cause if you lose your stand, someone will dare to push you over. Morning, neighbor, morning. Are you morning? Thank you for your patience, man. Sometimes these things happen, you know. And I don't lose sleep over them. I don't know about y'all. Morning! It is 24 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour, you know. Wow, a lot of people disappeared. They must have said they ain't hearing nothing. Anyhow, but morning, welcome to the program. Share the light. How y'all do? How was your last night? How is your this morning? How you passed it yesterday? You made some money yesterday? How life treated you yesterday, and so on and so forth. Those are things I want to know. How many of you attended virtually or otherwise the annual UC Quietness Symposium held last evening at the Tipperary Hall? We're going to talk about it just now, but welcome to the program. I trust that you are reinvigorated, you are re-energized, you are optimistic. Yeah, optimism is a good thing. Right? Optimism versus pessimism. I prefer optimism. I hope you're optimistic going forward, because optimism gives hope, and if we keep hope alive, then you know we keep dreams alive. And my dream is to see a better Guyana, a Guyana where all of its people can stand together and say, well, we are enjoying the patrimony of our nation. We are enjoying the fruits of the labors of our ancestors. And we're not going to shed each other, we are not going to have to shed each other's blood to get that enjoyment. That's my dream. I'm hoping that, you know, I'm praying that that is the Guyana I will be able to live in a few mornings from now. And definitely my next generation will be able to live in, and their generation. A Guyana where one group of people doesn't seek to dominate the other, but where we see each other in the eyes of humanity, and we recognize that, you know, together we can be strong, together we can build a nation, together we can respect each other. That's the kind of Guyana I want us to have. Mark Phillips, Miranda Brown, all the PPP trolls who come here in the morning, the cries of the people are still out there. Water. Guy's slogan is water is life, save it. I want to edit that slogan to say water is life, provide it. Throughout the land, people are complaining of pool pressure or no water. Pool pressure or no water. You can't even say air coming out the pipes. What is happening in this country? 2023, the 11th day of August. People are still going through water woes. People are still going through water woes. This is what, about the second week since I told Miranda to tell Mark Phillips to call Sheikh Bash and have him rectify the water problems or the problems at Gaiwa. I mean, if Sheikh Bash doesn't know what to do, Van West Charles, who I think is immediate past CEO, is good friends with the PPP. Maybe they can give him a consultancy. They can make him an advisor to Van West Charles, to Sheikh Bash. That would be a good payback for being a good nego. What do you think? Yeah, sometimes when I think about these guys, some of these guys, they're far good in the bracket, the description of negros, you know, or mulattoes. They got the color, they got the behavioral traits, right? They got all kind of things that, you know, criteria that meet. You meet the requirement for being considered good Negroes. Anyhow, I'm not going to talk too much about that, but just to let Mark Phillips know that he has failed once more to prove to this nation, to prove to the African Guyanese in particular, that he has some kind of authority in the PPP government, that he is respected in the PPP government, that he can speak not only for his people of his ilk, but Guyanese as a whole, and make things happen. I've seen otherwise. A picture tells 1,000 words. Action speaks louder than words. Mark Phillips, you're nothing but a rubber stamp. And I have no apologies for saying that. Good. Polari, Joe, Bishop, all they set a rubber stamp. I can't even address issues that are mundane to your African Guyanese communities. Nevertheless, it's Free Talk Friday. Let's talk. The lines are opened. Call me Let's Talk, but at the top of the list of talk, I want us to talk about what transpired last night. Last night at Buxton Tipperary Hall, we had in excess of 100 persons attending the annual UC Kwayana Emancipation Symposium. We had presentations from Dr. David Hines, Senior Counsel Rizal Ford, Apostle Nigel London, former Minister Simona Booms, GHK Lal. Yeah, I think the 5 of them. I can't remember if there was anybody else. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Oh, GCOM Commissioner Vincent Alexander, member of the leadership of Ipadaji, Vincent Alexander, chair of Coffee 250 Bonham Foundation, Vincent Alexander. Right, so we had presentations from about 6 persons on the panel there. Beautiful presentations. Moving presentations. But I want to ask the question now. What happens after? What happens after? You see me as a banner like make dates. And there ain't got no way I getting more than 100 black people in one place, putting fire in their belly, with all of the great messaging, information, teaching, and just let it walk out of there and go. No. Y'all got to commit to something. Y'all got to commit to something. What were these people committed to at the end of that program last night? I don't know, individually they might have made commitments to join the struggle. But why didn't we have a call to action? I not said we. I put myself in the melee, in the mix-up. Why didn't we have a call to action? For example, all of you here, let's commit ourselves and go in front of GCOM next week or tomorrow to demand biometrics. Or all of us here, let's go back into our communities and each reach and teach 10. And then bring them in front of GCOM at a date to be announced or a date that has been decided on, to say to the powers that be, hey, here is the black nation. We want biometrics. You see, I know sometimes people quietly criticize me. I criticize people so I can live with criticism. I criticize people openly so I can deal with either open criticism or closed door criticism. Why is Kidaki always, or a whole lot of time, seemingly on the attack when it comes to black leadership and what they do? Because in hindsight, many times when I sit back and I analyze them, I say, you know what? These folks ain't doing enough. They're just doing enough to say that they're doing. Was it enough to bring more than 100 persons together? Perhaps about 140, 150, 120. But definitely more than 100 persons, because I know all of the chairs were filled and there were at least 100 chairs. Talk to them. Put fire in their belly. Educate them. And then lose them to go right back into the land of tameness? What story is this here? Huh? We ain't got no commitment from these people. We didn't say let's go and protest. We didn't say let's organize. We didn't say what? We didn't get people to come and sign up for anything. Put a name to anything. So what's the next step? That we've just spoken to more than 100. In fact, I'm saying more than 100, but we have just spoken to about 600. People of African ancestry and well-wishers and supporters of what we're doing. Because while we had over 100 at the physical venue, there were more than 400 viewers on the live stream that I see. The live stream that was on CAMS TV, I saw more than 400 persons on CAMS TV live. And the broadcast was shared to several other groups and so on. So we make 600 people, 700 people, more than 1,000 persons perhaps, come and listen to all of this information. Put all of this fire in their belly. And then they just gonna sit down like couch potato. Why we don't have a date planned? For bringing to the center the issues that concern African Guyanese. Because that is what the discourse was. Centering. Equality. In an oil-rich Guyana. I think that was the topic. So everybody talk about how we can center it and the importance of centering it and so on and so forth. But we didn't leave with a plan to go in front of GCOM, to go in front of the office of the president, to go in front of the Western, what you call them, diplomats and so on, missions and so on. I'll call and let's talk with him. The lines are open. 6225923 is the number to call. Call and tell me, what do you think could have been done differently? Or what we need to do differently to really address this issue or bring our issues to the fore in a more forceful manner. Call A Live, good morning. Call A Live, good morning. Caller, you are live. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters. This is Flash Garden. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can.
That is why I love your program. That's why Flash Garden is so addicted to your program. And you ask the right question. What next? Why you guys come and feed us and leave us to go and sleep? And don't tell us, remember tomorrow morning is work. We going at Avenue A. We going and protest right through Border Market. Shut the business down for today. Shut the business down for today. At Regent Street, let them businessmen feel, see their wallet and get nothing for today. But what they will do, what Flash Garden do know, they will go up on all them program next week and said how it was success, how we went here and we talked this. London was there. Just call Harvey Norton South. Now he had a chance to prove himself that he hard more than Harvey Norton. Why he not mentioned last night? I will be holding a protest in Georgetown and inviting all of you who sitting here tomorrow morning to join me. We're going to protest for A, B, and C. Oh my goodness. That's all we do in Guyana. We only use our 2 senses out of our 5 senses where God bless us. Our tongue and our eyes. Let Flash Garden move on. To the brother who always receive disrespecting Mr. Coffee. My brother, stop that. We are here not to bring down and destroy each other on this program. We are here to look, listen, learn, and then talk. To empower each other with our knowledge and what evidence we know about the wicked one to fight and bring them out. Mr. Amsterdam always said, caller, wrap up. Or Coffee, wrap up. Don't tell Mr. Amsterdam. It's twice I hearing you, but Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee got to explain whatever he bring into the public. And it costs a little bit more time for explain. Leave Mr. Coffee alone, man. Let me don't fight each other down. My message this morning is to all the teachers, nurses, and doctors. It is time for you guys to step outside and represent the time and sacrifice your parents take to send you guys to university and college, that you guys could become teachers and nurses and doctors. It is time for you guys to represent your dignity and identity. Don't wait for an opposition leader. Don't wait for your own union while you pay due, because the union leaders, them sleeping in bed with Jagyo them nighttime. It's you guys feeling the pressure. You guys' brains have to keep function. And you guys' brains, your body need nourishment. And you got to go outside here and protest. Shut the system down. That God encourage all of you this morning, teachers and nurses. He cannot shoot all of y'all and kill all of y'all. Let me put this into reference to a couple of days ago. The nurses them in one of the 50 states in America, is nurses come together and strike. Was no union leader called strike or some official or some government official. It's the nurse them come together and said enough is enough. It is time for the nurses them come together and say enough is enough. Y'all go outside there. The government need you guys. You guys don't need the government. And it's very sickness to see. I would call them fat cat at the top for coalition and PPP black. They're doing nothing to help out the nurses and the teachers them. The one Claire McDonald, she destroy a receipt. She bring down my black sister who was Minister of Education. When she go and protest, get teachers up and down and call that woman yard foul and we go pluck you. Where was she today? Again, she got in front of one of our best minister, Mr. Nagamutu, candlelight parade in front his house, disturbing any family. Where is she today that sit in parliament for the coalition? She give the coalition hell. Frat God, he just sit back and look at me and said, my God. And today, them give up coalition. Where was she for going to protest in front of Mark Phillip now and show the same power? But all of them asleep in the bed with Jack you night time. Teachers and nurse, Flat Garden saying, go outside and protest. You're better than that. Look what they did to them both that get burned down. You saw how quick they find money as the news. Because them could burn them boat down because they want big boat, new technology now in boat, bigger machine, bigger thing in boat. Because the market go open just now between the Caribbean and Guyana. So they're going to get for export more fish, more money, be more fish. And what we doing? Our brains destroying. We brains don't have no money for buy a pound of milk self for nourish our brains for teaching them. We teaching them children. We taking care of them children and money in hospital. And they must pay it for that. Teachers and nurses, stop sit down home. Stop sit down. Don't wait on God. God gave 5 senses. 5 senses. Use all 5. Stop using 2. That is my thing for this weekend. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for your call. It's 4 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour. Yes. Tuned to the Guyanese morning time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam, the Buxtonian. Remember Friday, the 25th. Yes, Friday, 25th of August, we got Quick night at Club Twilight. Come down and let's keep the culture alive. Let's have a good night of Quick. We ain't got no bright to run away from this Quick. Okay, we ain't marrying anybody against their will. Good? Just come and we are reconnected with the culture. Let's keep the culture alive. On the 25th of August, Club Twilight at Sideline Down, Buxton North. And those of you who enjoy the obstacle cook-up on the Buxton line top, July 31st, we're going to get some obstacle cook-up for you again. Right? So we got obstacle cook-up and other foods and drinks on sale. So come down from 9 o'clock. We intend to start it quick at 9, but you can come earlier. The gate should open by 6, 7 o'clock. Come down. Have knob, as we say, mix up, rub shoulders and thing, and let me get a good time having Quick Friday the 25th. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Now, the thing that Coffee, Flash Garden said, he was right. Because many times when people call to give meaningful contributions, you'll see hecklers writing and saying a lot of things. And if you want to give a true thing, you got to explain yourself. But I'm a long talker too, but I know when the time comes when I would have to stop. But when you get a meaningful knowledge in something, I think we should listen to it. And Coffee, along with Flash Garden, myself, and some others, do bring meaningful inputs to the program. We know we got to have a limit because other people must be able to give their comments also. Anyway, moving along. Now I was listening to a little incept with this parliament thing, where I can't remember which one. I think it's Ganesh or Ferguson brought to the floor the business with the fire at Majo. And when she tried to the body tried to table the motion, the speaker turned it down, openly said that there is no urgency for him to pass a bill or a paper regarding the fire and Majo. There is where I want the Amerindians to look and to see what part of the PPP installed regime they fit into. Because if 19 young lives were being lost in such a tragic fire, and the people in the party could say that there is no urgency in looking after the needs and to get a full knowledge of what went on, that tells those people where they are being placed in the regime. I don't want to go back to history, but when President Granger became president, he spent most of his time in office to try to raise the lives of Amerindians. Forgetting, he didn't remember, this is history, that many of those Amerindian foreparents were given bounty and money to recapture us when we ran away from the slavery and the plantation and return us back to Massa to endure harsher punishment that we were being given. But we didn't look at that. Look, when it had this child, this rape, we were there. But I want them to look, to study. Imagine, Barnum decided to name Atkinson Airstrip, Atkinson Airstrip or Airport. He renamed it as Tim Mary Airport. And what did the PPP do? They removed Tim Mary and named it Jagon Airport. Now, if that was a name that told us about our people, the Amerindians in Guyana, and they take it away. And you know, when you go to top, all those things people must sit and look at. And when you sit and you look at how you're being marginalized, forgotten, kicked to the curb, you should know what you must do with your life. Imagine they got fire in the States and the president called it a national disaster. And I'm quite certain for those who have lost their lives, he's not going to give them the equivalent of $5 million to one of those person's lives. He has already got people on the ground to assess the damages. He said those who lost homes, this will be given them money. But they got to fix a cost. Try to fix a cost for those who have lost loved ones. Guyana copies everything from the outer world. But things like that, Barrett and the team will never copy. They will just push it on the people. And when you see Guyana is a place with money. Now I talking on the pipe. Remember now, the handlers of the install regime, most of them, they came from India. And they came from Calcutta, where most Indians, still in parts of India, cholera is still it's still an ordinary disease to them. Because you know why? They do everything in the Ganges River. And everything, they bathe everything they do there. Well, now, they try to plunge us back as though we must live in the Ganges with the water supply. I could remember when the Fisher Bishop told Georgetown people that they do couple roads. Well, we got a set of roads. We got pitch roads leading just to rice beds now, further up like in Waller's Delight and Harlem, Mary, and so you got a road And when you look at the end, is a rice bed, pitch coming out from the highway. Anyway, he told them that if they were to vote for PPP, let the tongue become PPP, you know, trying to bring them together, they will have proper roads and proper thing. Well, I believe what they have succeeded. For us in the urban areas, they have taken away our water supply because we voted for PNC, and that is what is going on. But I want them to know, happy life, happy living, no long life. So let it enjoy it while it's hot, because the day gonna come when the fire gonna get cold, and all we gonna be walking in the ashes. Bye bye.
Thank you for your call, Rondo. Let me tell y'all something. You know, I just try not to address certain issues because I don't want to mash people too. Then the Champagne Collison, what you say, Kedaki? Tell me, talk to me. I don't want you just call me name, sweetheart. When you call me name, I just get excited. I just want to know what is next. Right? So, tell me what's next. What's going on then is Champagne Collison. This Kadaki. What's going on? Tell me, I'm listening. I want to tell you all this. I don't agree with, and I often say to you, don't call the program and try to pull along each other. Don't try to be disrespectful to each other. We need each other. Every call to this program is important. Every call to this program is important. But like some people say, and I said it before, and I'm going to say it again, sometimes we have to be tactical. There's something that is called attention span. And if you cannot keep your message within the attention span of your audience, then you're going to lose them. If the attention span of this generation is 50 minutes, talk for 10. As they say, stop while you are ahead. Well, y'all think I can't come here every morning and talk for the next hour or two? But there's a reason why I talk, and then I allow you to talk, and while you're talking, I also talk sometimes. The callers don't necessarily have that privilege because I simply say don't double dip. Don't double dip. Right? But sometimes the messenger, the approach, the tactic of the messenger loses or causes the messenger to lose the audience. And so I have said personally to Coffee, I've said it on the program, Coffee, you're very important. You bring pertinent information. You bring so much. You have so much knowledge to share with us. But if you don't package it right, you got no précis. How many of you did précis writing or precise writing at school? You got to know to précis. You got to know to take summary writing. Take everything that you have, wrap it up in a nutshell, and deliver it. Otherwise, you're going to have this kind of pushback, this kind of quote-unquote disrespect, according to some people, happening. People say, you always with some long talk when you're done. Other people want a chance. You know, everybody believes that what he or she has to say is more important than what the other person is saying. Why, therefore, said last night at the symposium, I sat down here for the last hour, one way when Dr. Angson called me. It's human nature. And so my advice, my general advice is to everybody who calls this program. Think about the message you want to deliver. And make it snappy. Any of you can tell me of any other program where you get to call and talk for 50 minutes? I don't know of any unless you're a presenter. Then he said I should go figure. Then he said, I can't figure what I don't know about you. Right? Then he said that was her tact. Right? So we gotta get Jackie jacket. I encourage Coffee, I encourage Rhonda, I encourage everybody, I encourage Flash Gordon, everybody that calls the program. Think about what you want to say. Make it snappy, and it's going to be more impactful. Right? I'm being very honest with you. But I'm repeating, you don't have to attack somebody if you believe that they're on too long. I will make that determination. I'm the host of the program. And I think I am considerate. And so there are times when I will say, well, alright, I left it up to your conscience, but you ain't thinking I'm going to stop you this morning. Right? There's some people who don't like that. But the reality is, I have to manage the timing, right? The lines remain open. 622-5933 is the number to call. 622-5933 is the number to call. Let's call and talk the thing. But while we're talking the thing, let's consider this. Over 600 persons already messages last evening. What are you prepared to do with that message? I tell you, are they planning to come back on the road for protest? What are you prepared to do with that message? Tuesday is the accepted day for protest in front of GCOM because why? That is when the commission meets. I say I don't want to go and protest in front of the commission and Claudette singing that to hear us calling her name and talking about what a scamp and vagabond she is. Right? How disgraceful her behavior is at GCOM. How she has fallen from grace because she has become a footstool of the PPP. You want her to hear that, so you plan protests Tuesdays in front of GCOM. A whole lot of you were there last evening and on the live because you heard of it being promoted on this very platform. So come join us. Let's go to GCOM on the 29th of August. We're going to get Kwekwe on the 25th, Friday the 25th, and then Tuesday the 29th, we're going to go in front of GCOM. Who agrees with me? Talk to me. I like call to action. I love a good call to action. I ain't going on no public stage and make no comment in front of 600 people and then just walk off and say thank you for listening. No, you got to commit to something. Who is committing to a protest in front of GCOM on the 29th of August? And I'm very serious. You see, so somebody asked me the question, Mr. Sampson, why you never on the podium at these events? Maybe it's by the will of the Creator. Maybe it's by the will of the Creator. I take pride and I'm very, very proud and I'm very, very happy for what I do behind the scenes. You could hear the people who were there at the prayer last night could hear clearly from corner to corner. And you on the live could see and hear the happenings as if you were right there. Right? I take credit for that. I'm happy that I can do that and I can do it efficiently. Maybe putting me on the podium is not going to get the same impact. But maybe it would get a call to action. Right? So I'm making the call to action now after the fact. Let's go in front of GCOM on the 29th. Tuesday 29th. Tuesday 29th of August. Let's close out August with a bang. It's our month of emancipation. Let's give the ancestors something to cheer about from the great beyond. Tuesday 29th. What you want to hear from me, Sherilyn Williams? You're hearing from me right now. This is my platform. Nobody can tell me when I could talk. I just being malicious. Sometimes I get like that, right? So yes, let's do it on the 29th in front of GCOM. Join me. And I'm making this commitment to you. First and foremost, we will try not for anybody to get arrested. But secondly, If anybody is arrested, we will take care of you. You can get bail and all of that. I'm going to, as I talk right now, I'm going to start to call up the lawyers and ask them to be on standby. And it brings into question this discussion about the defense fund. And so all of you who are willing to contribute to the defense fund, put something aside. Because we might call on you on the 29th, or the 28th, or the 30th to assist with the defense of anybody who gets arrested. Give me a thumbs up if you agree that we should go there in large numbers on the 29th and protest in front of GCOM calling for biometrics and a clean voters list. And give me 2 thumbs if you're putting aside something to help to defend those who are out there protesting on the 29th. Transportation and so on, we're going to try and handle it from this end. Talk to me. The lines we made open 6225933. Let's 6225933 is the number to call. What is not enough, Cherilyn Williams? I want to know that. We're having a conversation this morning. It's Free Talk Friday, so feel free to talk. Cherilyn, what is not enough? And Nathan Fraser, the audio was bad last night. How many of you agree that the audio was bad last night? How many of you agree that the audio was bad last night? Because I was on the listening end too, you know. And while some of us want perfection, perfection is not cheap. And right now we are operating a cheaper. This is like pirate radio we're doing, you know. This is not a big international studio, let me remind you. So we do the best that we can do. Right? And I want us to have that conversation if it's important to you. The quality of the audio last night and the quality of the audio usually when we broadcast. I try to get the best quality, but given the equipment I have, I can only do so much and no more. Right? So, remind yourself that I am striving, we are striving. We want to have CNN quality. We want to have BBC quality. We want to have Al Jazeera quality. We want to be better than NCN and TVG. We want to do better. But we have to take baby steps, right? Were you able to hear the message last night? Might have taken a little bit more effort. You couldn't just tune in and rock back. You had to pay rapt attention. But were you able to get a message? Were you able to partake in the event last night? How many persons, because it's a survey now, how many persons experienced bad audio? How bad was it? Here we are. Cherilyn said it was loud and clear. Curtis said it was loud and clear. So Nathan Fraser, is it that you had to check your device? You had it too low or you had it too high? You had on too much bass or too much treble? Too much mints? Those are things we have to ask. Right? That is why these conversations are important. Let's have them. It's Free Talk Friday. I think I got some voice notes. Let me see if they're going to play. Got some people who don't like me to call a name. But I can tell you that there are some people who are on this program every living day, who provide encouragement and support in the background. If not for some of them, you won't even hear anything or see voice notes.
Good morning, Kadaki and Dr. Hines and listeners. It's only a revolt to take Guyana out of this situation we're in. And the revolt got to start in the parliament. 32 against 33. That's the legislative branch. The speaker must got to suspend all 32. It must start right inside there and then come outside. That's the only way things gonna happen. Otherwise, though, it's gonna be talk, and nothing gonna take place. Nothing gonna take place. Going to a vote, they don't change the list and get rid of Claric Singh. It happening a win back is waste of time. You see it with the petitions. You see it all the time. It's dictatorship. The only way they could come out of that is having a revolt, and it must start in the parliament.
I agree that there must be a revolt in the parliament. But I also know, I'm being pessimistic. I tell you, optimism is a good thing. But sometimes you gotta deal with reality. I see no parliamentarian who's going to revolt. You're making joke and a man getting gold bracelet for anniversary. They didn't ask it, the speaker just decide that, hey, I'm going to spend millions of the parliamentary budget with my jeweler friend, and I'm going to give out tokens, golden tokens, pieces of gold and gold jewelry to every parliamentarian because it's the anniversary. You think no matter what lose out on that because they get suspended or they get disqualified from being in the National Assembly, they're going to vote over what? You think no matter really got your interest at heart that they're going to give up the access to the corridors of power by revolting? We have to revolt. The people have to revolt. Good? So this survey is saying that, listen, the audio was good enough or it was loud and clear. Was it exceptionally good? I doubt better. You want it exceptionally good? There are things that we might got to do or can do about it. But they take resources. If anybody knows the research and can do the research, go ahead. Let's get it done. And you know the other thing I know? In fact, last night after I asked the question if the audio was good, and I got a response saying, yes, Mr. Amsterdam, or yes, Kidaki. Tandika, good morning. Tandika Watson. I always admire the girl, How you doing, girl? It was Tandika and what? They're two sisters. Is it Tandika and Tinika or something? I remember them, the Watson sisters. Beautiful African queens. Yes, we were at GTI together, I think. Yes. Anyways, we're talking about the audio. After I asked that question, when I looked at the device, there was actually a microphone indicating the quality of the audio there, And the meters were reading good. So I was happy for that. I said, I didn't even realize that this is a feature in this thing. Nothing like when you get an upgraded device to work with. Right, so I recognize from that too that the audio must have been fairly okay. But I can continue to work on improving it. I don't know what it will take. But I know currently I do not have the capacity to connect an external microphone to the device. I will have to do the research as to how I can do that. Good? But we are talking. You believe that, man? Got them to revolt in Parliament? Remember when, how many of them got... I know Sherrod got suspended for about 3 or 6 sittings or something. It's every day Sherrod the balling, because he didn't get him pay. Annette Ferguson, Tabitha Sarbo, who else? Christopher Jones, I think. Yeah, they were suspended from Parliament over the Mace matter. And a lot of them, the matter went to court too and they lost, right? Good? So, these are things that you have to consider. They're good recommendations. Somebody sent me a video yesterday in the South African Parliament, I think, or was it Nigerian Parliament, where a parliamentary member was criticizing the government on their budget and criticizing the Speaker and the members of the National Assembly for accepting increase in their emoluments while the people were eating mud, quite frankly. I bet you, in this country, every increase of parliamentarian get his reason for celebration. You remember in Jack Dio they say the PPP parliamentarians will not accept the increase that came for the parliamentarians in the Guejo government had just gotten into office. The so-called 50% increase. I know it's not 50, but I'm saying the so-called 50% increase. You remember Jack Dio they said they ain't gonna take the money. Ask them if they ever return that money to Parliament or to the coffers of the state. They did not. Trevor Michelle says that it was bad last night. Well, you know. Dennis Graham, I would love to have my own TV station. I wonder how I get in the license. The coalition was in government and they didn't license one African Guyanese owned television station or radio. You think the PPP can do it? Knowing especially Mr. Kidaki Amsterdam want TV license? You think so? You think the PPP will do it? I doubt you. But this is our television station. We will we will get there. Marcella Douglas or in Cork. Why you want me to call you double names? Huh? Why you want to prove that you didn't run away from the wedding? The lines remain open. I got a voice note to play. Let me play it. It's Free Talk Friday, you know. You see when you ask your talk, you only want to talk. Alright. They want to play it again, so let's go.
Lift up your hand and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the fight.
I'm getting older, still we striving for better. And we not gonna stop till the battle is won and we get justice.
This one there. How do people think stop?
Cause if you lose your stand, anyone will try to push you over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Don't be discouraged by the pitfalls and their worries. They ain't joy for one night, but joy cometh in the morning. And if you lose your soul, there's nothing to gain. It will be over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Now go out cause the color of my skin. Now go cheat because me want to win. Now see the crown and still no know the king. Now see blessing and no know blessing. Cause if you lose your stand, there comes someone to push you over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize.
Yeah, lift up your your head and hold it up high. We know that we will win the prize. We have won and we will continue to win. Let me tell you something. Yes, it's Everton Blender. You know, I listened to that song and the person sent it to me to be replayed and so on. And I'm saying in my mind, you know, Mr. Amsterdam, you've made some of your viewers reggae lovers. A lot of them didn't know half of these reggae tunes until I started playing them. Big up yourself, Desiree Simmons. Good morning. How are you? You've been quite quiet. I haven't heard from you a long time. Desiree Simmons, how you do, girl? Lady D, good morning. I hope you're keeping fine. How them grandchildren, they alright? Gotta bring them together, you know. Let me walk in this mud a little bit. I see a man asking me a question. Oh, by the way, I should tell you, Rhonda, because you repeated it this morning again, or I think I heard it on the replay. Mr. John yourself tell you he didn't drink no water from nobody when he was arrested, right? So stop it. Yeah. Sir, you're asking me a question here. I don't even know that there's a magic commission yet. Honestly, I didn't even know that one was established. Ali surprised me, the man. I wasn't looking forward to it, but like, they must find the right set of people to pay. It gotta be to find the right set of people to pay. So they set up a commission. Just as how they find Douglas to bring it together and offer you a better quality of life to set up a pad. Y'all know what people just do with pads, right?
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and viewers. I think we would have to take a protest to Gaiwo. They're no longer at Melanie. They are the corner before you step into Aslington, just of the end of Enmore going into Aslington at a mall. There is where they're located, and I think we need to go and have a protest, or people need to come out and have a protest there, because it's getting from bad to worse. When you can tell a senior citizen to keep coming and people going and report it all the time and bringing it to their attention, carrying photos, carrying pictures for them to see what's going on. This senior citizen living all by yourself. And the same thing they're saying that, neighbor mustn't give neighbor water. It's against the law. So now where this woman must get water from? The pension that they give to her, buy water to do all the things that she need to do, and plus to eat and drink. It is really hard. It is really, really hard. And nobody's trying to do anything. Nobody's trying to do anything because you keep running there and it's the same thing. Why a person must apply for water and have to wait 21 days before you can get the service and you already collect my money?
Egerton, David telling me he sent me some kind of flyer for the 1st of September. I ain't seen no flyer. I want to you, Egerton. What do you think? Anything free on this program? Will you tell yourself it is? You gonna just send me a flyer and tell me put it up? Who pay for it? Let me look for this flyer. Let's see how much money I could charge Egerton when I'm done. Let's take this call. Call it live. Good morning.
Good morning, Kadaki. I like you having fun today. On the way, eat last night or this morning.
Whatever I ate, I sure it was washed before.
All right. You talked about you want your TV station. You want no TV station. You get to no TV station. You get something that is going to run bigger than the TV station. There are a few young men that I look at out of the continent. Right? And 2 of them were fired from a big, huge radio station, TV station there in South Africa. DJ Smooth and Megji. Megji just hit his 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Right? But we're trying to say these guys have got a system set up. Right? And I'm glad like how you just addressed that person, send you a message about the flyer. That they are running programs and heavy commercial from within the continent is going to them and they've been paying the dues by the use of the commercial. You know, they got to pay the bills, so whoever want to advertise, they're going to pay you. Right? I think conversation before, everybody, we got fringes all around. And we could get one big social media television station where you're streaming on everything that is available. And it could happen. It's just time. It could happen. You know, we use different locations to broadcast from. And it could happen. It's just that we got to get the people with the know-how, equipment, and a couple of dollars, and this thing could run. We ain't need no big antenna in nobody's backyard. We can use tools that's available for us. So it's something that everybody should think about. Whom there that we, you know, on the opposition side should think about. But, you know, I know egos gonna come and run, but you got to push that aside, but people got to realize what is the price ahead. Right? So we could make this thing work. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. You know, Egerton David, you tell me check my WhatsApp. I show if you comment some dollar sign over to see it already. Oh yeah, this is Free Talk Friday. I could talk my mind. Yes, Vision for Guyana and the New York People's National Congress Reform present an evening with Aubrey C. Norton. Leader of the opposition, Friday 1st September 2023. Music by Super Terry, one-man band, and DJ Rani. At Tropical Breeze Ballroom, 1367 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. The time is 5 to 11, and dinner is $100 per plate. Open bar. Hey, whoa. You making joke? I thought my dinner was expensive. Y'all remember Lady the car and sent me dinner too expensive? Oh, shoots. Now it's double the price they got to pay. Caller. Not caller. Viewers, the lines are still open. But on a serious note, the New York PNCR and Vision for Guyana present an evening with Aubrey Norton, leader of the opposition. It's Friday the 1st of September, and it's going to be at the Tropical Breeze Ballroom at 1367 Utica Avenue. Music by DJ Rani and Super Terry one-man band. Dinner costs just $100. It's contributions to the campaign and so on, I guess. And it starts at 5 o'clock. There will be a well-stocked bar. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Well, good morning to all the viewers and listeners. Free Talk Friday. So let me go back a little bit about something that was talked about already in the week. The situation with Apology and this alternative organization that the government is trying to form or whatever. So Apology, first of all, Apology is a recognized organization that is recognized by the international community, that has been established to represent Black folk in Guyana, and it is tried and proven, as a matter of fact, because it's done lots of stuff that was also told by its the people that run it, Vincent Alexander and so on. And so but the government, they're not satisfied with the Apology, and I don't know why, because the Apology is not to represent them or their constituency, which is mainly Indians. So I do think that that's disrespectful. I want to start something. I want to keep a party, and I want my host to keep the party. And you come into my house and telling me, no, you want somebody else because you're supposed to be the finance person. So I think that's disrespectful. That's the first part. But one of the things I hope the people who they've chosen to run these alternative organizations, I hope they be listening to these programs, because I want to know what the interviews sounded like that when they interviewed for the job. What is something like? What did the PP bar job do? What they told them? What is the deal that they made with them? Were they curious enough? Were these applicants curious enough to ask questions like, why is it that you're not accepting an organization like Apology that is tried and proven, that is internationally recognized and so on? And
And if they can't answer those kind of questions, they should have like proposals. Say, well, okay, I have a proposal. What about if we do form this organization, but up front, let us go into these African communities, get them some good roads, some bridges, and get them potent water and things like that. Get them stuff that is needed, the necessities. And after then, this is the person who's being interviewed should be talking to the government, and tell them that after doing all this kind of stuff, we could run a big PR campaign saying that, oh, this is all what you did and so on, and you could put me, the person, as the person who's the upfront person who's doing all this kind of stuff, and maybe our organization, our alternative organization, would be accepted. But no, these people, I think they've been interviewed for the job, or maybe they're not even being interviewed for the job. Maybe they were chosen, and they're not curious about nothing. They're not asking no questions or nothing. Like they just want to go drink the soup and just go according to wherever direction that the PP is giving them. And that's a really, really big person. That would be a big organization, and it would be a big disrespect to black folks. And you raised a point earlier in the week with something when you said the government, this administration, they have such a good opportunity right now to maybe buy a few people's hearts by just doing simple things, where they ought to do. You know what I mean? But no, they refuse to do so. So these people are downright, first of all, very, 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 very greedy, right? And I do think they're very, very racist as well, because if you have so much at your disposal and it's not even yours, right? It belongs to everyone. And just for you to take a little pinch out of it and please somebody else that don't look like you or don't share your political affiliation or whatever, and you don't even want to do that. It wouldn't do nothing. You just take a little pinch to give to these people. This is how greedy and racist these people are. And I do think that everybody in Guyana should recognize that. Even Indian people who are supporting this government, they should look at the government and tell themselves, these people can shoot themselves in the foot all the time because they're too greedy and stupid, right? There's nothing. They got to go into their own pockets, into their own bank accounts. Nothing. It's just a little bit, and just try to please the people that do not that are perceived not to be following you, or not to be supporting you, or whatever. And just give them what is rightfully belong to them. That's all they have to do. But no, they don't want to do that. So, but this same situation where they try to use an alternative group to represent black people, I think that this is a recipe for real political and ethnic unrest in this country, and that could trigger something really, 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 really big. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, caller. I got on David buy, you get 2 for the price of 1. Queenstown Hall meeting, Aubrey Norton, leader of the opposition, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. August 24th at the Starlight Pavilion. That's what, 13005 101st Avenue, Jamaica. Right? Check that out too. So on the 24th, you will get the chance to interact with Aubrey Norton at the Queenstown Hall meeting. Right? 101st Avenue, Jamaica. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's on the 24th. And then a week later, on the 1st, you get to Bacchanal. I know they're going to play Rokotoks because Aubrey Norton said we got to promote Rokotoks as part of the cultural heritage of Guyana and develop the music as a local art form and so on and thing. So I know that Super Terry can just play music and don't play no Rokotoks. Good? You're still tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. I'm still your host, the Buxtonian Guyanese, Kiraki Amsterdam. It is now 70 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. Let me remind you that from 10 o'clock today, I'll be hosting some young people here at the Youth Culture Camp. I hope you're sending your children so that they can participate in the Youth Culture Camp. We're going to be talking about local heroes and sheroes and African culture and history and so on. So send them down. Every time you all ask, where the young people at? If we don't encourage them to participate in anything, then they ain't going to participate in anything. Those of you who were out there last night, you all saw that beautiful young lady I've been pumping scene with. If you all didn't see her, I'm glad you all didn't see her. But if you all see her, if you all saw her, good for y'all. That was my daughter. So I told her, come girl, they got symposium at Tipperary, let we go. She just finished sexy and so on. I'm sure, well, I don't know if she did Caribbean history, I doubt it. But I'm sure she got a good listen last night and she learned. She said her evening was well spent. And so young people can be encouraged to partake in these things. Right? Today she's going to be here again because I told her, come to Club Twilight and let's talk about African culture. Let's do the culture camp. Right? So yeah, come. Christopher Crawford, he coming today. Is that what he said? Anyhow, so we got Kwekwe on the 25th. Yes, we have to Kwekwe on the 25th. We have to continue to promote and hold on to our culture, you know. Right? So Kwekwe is on the 25th. Come down to Club Twilight for Kwekwe on the 25th. Like I said, the Kwekwe will start at 9, but the gates are going to be open from early. So you can come in and sit back and have a cold one with your friends and talk about how bad you could whine and so on thing. Is Shelly on the program this morning? Somebody got a whole double barrel name. Is who? Marcella Douglas Owen Cork. When was your Kwekwe? Your family went to represent you? After I came off the program yesterday, remember they got one name, show me your last wine before you lay down. Show me your last wine before you lay down. Show me your last, you know what I want? Show me your last wine before you lay down. Show me your last wine before you lay down. That's a part of Kwekwe. Remember, Kwekwe is marriage counseling. It's 8:45. Let me see if I have any other voice notes. Somebody tell me that I got it's not the same thing I just said, my man. Listen, I'm gonna send these bills to somebody. Who gonna pay them? Voice note. No, this is a call. Call your life.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Happy Friday to you. Concerning the picket exercise in front of GCOM, I think that is a great idea, and I'm thinking that maybe you can put a target if you're like trying to get 100 persons. If every organization, because they had a lot of them there at Tipperary Hall last night, if everybody can send 10, if you get 10 organizations with 10 persons, you already achieve your target, plus the persons who would come in from off of the road and just want to like join the protest. I know persons would support, you know, I will support if it's water, whatever. So something to the, with a lawyer fee or whatever. So, you know, we have your back. So, I think it's a great idea, and you should aim to get, 100 persons.
Thank you.
Yes. Some other, yes. Have you ever thought about after this war, when you finish fighting this war, what you would want to do? Because I know you will win.
What I would want to do? Carter, you don't hear me say it every day?
Maybe not. We want to do have a radio station, a TV station.
Listen, even as I'm fighting this war as you deem it, what I'm hoping to do and what I'm striving to do is to groom a set of young people who could take over the war from me.
Okay, so you into mentorship.
Right?
Okay, well, that would be great.
Once the war is won, I can relax, child.
you cannot relax, because you know what, the fighting spirit gonna always be in you, because when the coalition win, everybody relax and say, oh, when it's peace and quietness, it will be sudden destruction. So that is what happened.
Let's have this conversation. It might go past a little past time, but let's have this conversation. I was saying to a friend, I think this morning, We were discussing African Guyanese leadership in particular.
Okay.
I will use the word despise loosely. But I despise a lot of our leaders, not only in the African Guyanese community, but in the Caribbean community in general. Why at 70 and 80, 68 and 69 and 70 and 80, I have to be fighting for leadership? Right? If I'm fighting for leadership at that age, it suggests to me that I've not groomed a single soul. I've not passed on anything. I've not prepared anybody to take over for me. And therefore, I am hogging leadership at that age. It's not a good thing. Right? It is not. If an older leader at 60, 70, 80 has to be fearful of a younger leader stealing the spotlight, it says to me that that leader is a damn failure. Because they prepare themselves or others to take over from them. And so once this battle is won, I don't want to find myself being one of those leaders. I'm very serious. I can sit quietly in the background and provide guidance, provide counsel to younger men and women. Let me enjoy my old age.
You think so? I don't believe so, because there is always a place for eldership.
But I just told you what my role should be, or what elders' role should be.
Yeah, but I just want to interject a little to say that, sometimes, okay, at that point you would want to maybe move on from a warrior to an elder. But even if you're an elder, you still would be fighting, because you know what? Sometimes as parents, okay, we teach them children to do everything. And sometimes you sit down there in the kitchen, whatever, and you see they're doing a set of nonsense. And you know what? You wouldn't just sit down. You're going to find yourself there in the heat of the moment, in the front of the battle, and you're fighting with them too. So I'm saying that as leaders, as elders, we only move on to another level in the war or the battle. We're going to still be fighting, because you know what? When the coalition get in power, you think these people going to let them rest? It's going to be battles on the mining. You're going to see them perform at a different level. And trust me, it would not be easy. So you know what? We always got to, as you would say, we always going to have to be battle ready. You know? We're going to always have to be battle ready. So, yes.
Caller, I hope when I'm finished with this fight, and I pass the baton, and I see people doing stupidness, I could pick up a phone and call somebody and say, hey, you're doing stupidness.
Well, they're still fighting, my brother.
Me and I
they're still fighting. You think you're going to be able to go to the Bahamas and throw back on a beach and say, I did it all. No, it wouldn't be like that, because you know.
Let me tell you this one. In case you don't know, I might be the last patriotic Guyanese. I really don't fancy leaving these shores, you know. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I really don't fancy leaving these shores. And that is why I'm fighting for good Guyana. Because I want to enjoy Guyana. I want to enjoy life right here. Coffee is 8 minutes to 9. Why are you calling so late?
Yeah, I've been trying to get through. But, I guess a lot of people watching this show is very popular. So I guess a lot of people calling. Once again, good morning to you, Mr. Amsterdam, and good morning to everyone in the diaspora on all Guyanese. And the fight continues. Happy emancipation. We're still in the process of emancipation. Emancipation is a process. And we've got to wake our people up. And sometimes it may take me a little bit to say what needs to be said. I don't wish to offend anyone, but truth has a way of offending falsehood. And I appreciate people give me the time to share whatever little I have, and no love lost. I totally understand. I mean, when Jesus came, he had the same problems, didn't he? he was the best that did it in the last 2,000 years, according to popular opinion, and they crucified him for what he was doing. So you can imagine what they'd do to Cuffy, right? You know, they did the same thing to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey. So what do you think they do to Cuffy? But always remember, when someone is, you know, pushing truth, we can do two things when someone is pushing truth. We can either come back and say, hey, you know what? I've got some facts to prove you otherwise. And I accept that, right? It's an open field where ideas can contend, right? I've got my eyes on the crosshair, and the crosshair is removing the PPP, right? And those who are about removing the PPP, join the fight. Join the fight with truth, courage, and conviction. But we expect that when truth come on the scene, falsehood will flee, and falsehood will, scribble and bark in the corners, and they will do that. And that's understandable. And we will. That we welcome it. If I'm not sure, and we say the truth, and so we expect that. We welcome. Look, Cuffy welcomes opposition. If somebody has something to say, I welcome it. How could I test my thesis? How could I prove my value? Unless I have opposition, unless I welcome nemesis, unless I welcome them, right? Every in has an out, every up has a down, every yin has a yang. Once again, thank you for giving me the time to share to the people. And look, Mr. Amsterdam, you talked about working with the youth. Great estate. Great estate. Jesus worked with prisoners. Dr. King worked with prisoners. And Marcus Garvey worked with prisoners. What they hear vote, they are brothers and sisters. So we've got to make an extra effort to reach out to those who are in the prisons in Guyana. Because one of the largest ministries, or one of the largest fields that we could work and we could toil in, is in the prisons. So while we're working to recruit people in the streets and the young ones, we got to reach back to some of those in the prisons. And I know a lot of prisoners listen to this show, and I want to encourage them to continue to listen to the show. And we haven't forgot you. I haven't forgotten you. I haven't forgotten you. I know the struggle. I know what a lot of you are going through in prisons. My heart goes out to you. So we're going to put a special word in, and we're going to put a special fight in. That is a special word, a special fight, an additional fight for those who are held in captivity. And those who need you. Once again, thank you for accepting my call.
Thank you for calling. As it looks as though Aubrey Norton is on a tour of North America, because on the 18th of August he's going to be at St. Agnes and St. Paul's Church, 206 Renshaw Street in East Orange, New Jersey. Yes, that's another town hall meeting, and it starts at 6:30. That's August 18th. Aubrey Norton is going to be at St. Agnes and St. Paul's Church, 206 Renshaw Street, East Orange, New Jersey, for a town hall meeting, and that starts at 6:30. Compliments of the North American region of the PNCR in association with the New Jersey PNCR groups, right? So go there, go meet your opposition leader, tell you what you want to do. If you all see before me, tell you what, he send people to the protest on the 29th. Is it the 29th we said? of August in front of GCOM. Yes, Tuesday the 29th of August, we're going in front of GCOM. Did we set a time? We're going to do it from about 11 o'clock. That's when Claudetta's turn up. We got a voice note or two I want to play before I leave the program. I think we play this one. Yeah, we play this one. Let me see what has not been played. Some of y'all just follow me. Y'all just wait till the program close to finish and then send a voice note.
Good morning, Kadaki and listeners. That committee that was selected, I think that the action itself is disrespectful to Guyanese, the Afro-Guyanese. Now, I would like to know what those particular persons have contributed to the well-being of Guyanese and the history of Guyanese, because I, for sure, Onish Waldron, I think they got an awakening with the rejection, and they're trying to impress persons that they're doing something to correct the situation. But none of them can speak for me. I will not allow them to speak for me. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about this morning. The second thing I would like to talk about this morning is I think that we should keep an eye on the emergence of those small businesses reference security. I do believe that a lot of those security officers are working under adverse conditions, and we need to see what's happening with that. I am in touch with one of them who works with one of the smaller companies, and the conditions in which were described is not healthy, because when I was told about the conditions of work, I thought about that clip when they said the only thing good for sun is zinc and the black man. At that location, there is no hot, there is no water, and all the basic things that any security officer should have. As far as I know, when you go to assess a location, you make your recommendations based on what you observe, right? So if you're gonna want to do a business, then you should approach it the right way. But then again, like I said, in that clip, it was said that the only thing good for sun is the zinc
sheet and black man.
The zinc sheet and the black man, and that is exactly my impression when I saw the conditions under which the person was working. So I think we should keep an eye on our black brothers. They need to work, but they do not need to accept those conditions to work. I remember you saying something just now about Jack Dio and the parliamentarians who were in opposition at the time did not return the monies. But Jack Dio did say at that time that they were going to take the monies and invest it in party affairs for the next elections. I think that at that time they should not have been paid, because most of the time they were not in parliament, or they went to parliament and then they walked out. These are things that were accepted by Mr. Granger, and personally for me, they should not have been paid for that time, given all the things they were doing. Thank you.
Thank you for that voice note. It's 3 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. I'm promising to play all the voice notes I got before 9. So y'all don't send more.
Good morning, Mr. Kadaki. I just want you to know that I am disagreeing with that point that you're sharing, or that view that you're sharing about coffee. I clearly understand what you're saying. Don't attack each other and don't use this program to attack each other. But what I can say, that boy that is called from the US there, I have to call him a boy. He do not have the knowledge of Mr. Coffee. First of all, do you hear his name? Coffee. The man is coming from a very far away. You understand? Coffee can think outside of the box. And when you know the thing with Coffee, let me tell you this, sir. When Coffee speaks, one thing lead him on to another thing. And there's a lot of stuff that is bothering this man that the opposition cannot see, that he's venting about it on the program. You understand? And it's just, some people must be upset when people have more knowledge than them, like me, I don't. I don't be upset. You go ahead, brother. The man can see the future, where to tell you where we're going. He's just like Rhonda. He's exactly like Rhonda and exactly like Flash Garden. They have valid, strong point. And those three people are the anchor of your program. You think I disagree with you the other morning when you shut down Rhonda? I'm happy you did that. You were saving her from what is coming. So do not put a limit to people like these. Let they have their time. You understand? Pay attention to when this kid called from the US. It's just very sporadic time. He said something that really is impacting, or the nation doesn't know about it, or whatever.
Thank you for your voice note. Like I said, this is where democracy lives. Right? This is where democracy lives. I don't try to stop anybody from having their say. I just do what I have to do. You're tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. It's 6 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. I have to go because I have to prepare for these youngsters. We're doing the youth culture camp today at Club Twilight. We're supposed to start at 10. We will go until about 1 o'clock. You can come down, you can bring your children, you can send your children. But come, let's talk about African culture and whatever else we want these young people to be socializing. What we need to transfer to our young people. Let's do that. It's Friday night also, so you can come down later in the evening to Club Twilight and let's have a beer. I don't drink. Let's have a beer. Come down, let's have a beer, let's have a fun time, let's sing some karaoke, let's relax after a long week and so on and so forth. Right? I'll see you on Monday for another program of Guyanese Morning Time. Start to organize your groups, start to organize your friends. I particularly like the recommendation from the young lady here. If 10 organizations send 10 people, we can get 100. It ain't hard. If 10 households send 10 people, we can get 100. It's not difficult. If 10 of you bring 10 of your friends along, it's not hard. You can't only want your friends to go and drink beer with at the street corner and talk crap. You must encourage your friends to come and join the fight. Support the fight. Good? Some of you don't want your faces shown. They got all kinds of masks nowadays. You just pull a bandana or something over your face and you're going to be different looking. Put on a cap and pull it in your face with the dark shades, you're going to be different looking. I always say to you, look at how protest is done around the world. And a lot of people, when they go there to protest, they simply disguise their features. You have to learn that too. Right? But I'm saying again, let's plan for the 29th of August. We're going in front of GCOM. I don't do anything clandestine. Y'all notice I like announce my presence. I like tell the state when I come in, so the state could prepare for me. Because it's my democratic right to protest. And I ain't gonna let nobody steal that from me. I don't care how much charges they got before the court. Let's go out on the 29th and protest. Peacefully in front of GCOM. Well, you know, I can't go with the Laurela. They still got the Laurela. I'm waiting on the lawyer to tell me how to get back the Laurela. We should have appealed that case, but I guess the lion got bigger fishes to fry. But those cases for me are important because they impact our individual freedoms. But let me don't deal with it for now. Let's talk about planning for the 29th. Please start organizing your people. Like I said, I will be reaching out to lawyers and so on and other people to get commitment for legal support, legal backings, bail money, and so should we find ourselves needing any of that. But I'm saying to you, let's organize our people. I don't like to do it, but most likely I'm going to try to get some snacks, some replenishment, some nourishment for that particular day. What I don't like to do, I don't like to announce these things because I don't want people to get the impression I'm trying to lure them with food. We're bigger than that. We are bigger than that. We will go there for the cause. Right? Have a good day. See you at 10 o'clock. See some of you later in the evening. See some of you on Monday. Have a good one. In fact, I'm going to leave you with Everton Blender. That's the anthem for this morning. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We can do that.
Still we striving for better, and we not gonna stop till the battle is won and we get justice. Cause if you lose your stand, anyone will try to push you over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Don't be discouraged by the pitfalls and their worries. They endure for one night, but joy cometh in the morning. And if you lose your soul, there's nothing to gain. It will be over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. The color of my skin. Now go cheat because me want to win. Now see the crown and still no know the king. Now see blessing and no know blessing. Cause if you lose your stand, there comes someone to push you over.